Hey, what's up? Surely you clicked on this video because your ranked games are some kind of roller coaster. In one game you can make 25 kills and become the MVP of the match, and in the next game you don't score even 10, although you do everything in the same way. Consistency is a very important thing for those who really want to learn how to play better, who want to reach a new level. This is why we will talk about consistency today. I'll tell you why you are not consistent, what are the main reasons for this and how to fix it. If the video turns out to be interesting, don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe. Well, let's get started. The most popular question is not even related to the ranked games, but to the deathmatch. It sounds something like this: why do I run around in the deathmatch and destroy everyone, and then in a ranked game I can't even get a plus KD? Why does this happen? Am I really that bad and unstable player? Well, there are several reasons for this. Firstly, half of the people run these matches for fun, the other half plays without sound, they just turn on music and chilling. No one takes these matches so seriously. At the same time, you want to take first place and you succeed, but in real game people will play with sound and in all seriousness, so it won't be so easy to destroy everyone there. But this is not the main thing. Have you ever wondered what ranks do I come across during the death matches? To answer this question, let's check my game. Against me came across Immortals and Diamonds, Platinum and even Gold players. Can you imagine that Gold plays against Immortals? How is this possible? Well, it is possible in Valorant, and it is clear that against weaker players it will be much easier for me to make kills, especially when I play more relaxed than in a real game, so never evaluate your stability by deathmatch standards. Well, okay, let's do not consider it deathmatch, but still there are moments when in one game you make 20-25 kills or even 30 if the game is long enough, but in the next game you can't do anything. Why then does this happen? Here I would like to touch upon the moral component of each player. We all react differently to our own mistakes, to the mistakes of our teammates. Someone can lose his temper literally because of one round, and if he comes across not ideal teammates, such a player begins to constantly whine, only follow the game of his teammates, looking for a slightest flaws there while not noticing his own. He starts writing all sorts of garbage in the chat, and that's it, he can't be stopped. This player broke down for a whole game or even more, although literally 2 minutes ago everything was fine.
Good job, Euro.
Euro, I will fuck you, just wait.
Guys, go back, he ulted.
Go back.
Go back! Man, what are you doing?
You're so pussy, team. You're so pussy.
What are you talking about?
Shut the fuck up, pussies. You're fucking Turkish. Brainless bots.
This is already a separate topic of tilt, and I don't want to talk about this in this video, but it is obvious that you need to be morally stable under any circumstances, regardless of your team. And yes, I perfectly understand how hard it is to do in a Valorant with random teammates. To reduce the likelihood of running into a bad teammate, just try to play in a party. This will be a good solution for you. But your consistency cannot depend only on teammates. We're all humans, we all have good and bad things happen, and we all react differently to it, as I said before. It happens that just during the game some bad news comes to you. It could be a problem at school or at work, maybe some kind of problem in relationships with other people, or something else that bothers you. However, in any case, the result is the same. You start thinking not about the game, but about how to solve the problem that has arisen. So if you want to play as productively as possible, then try to ignore all such questions for the duration of the game session. The game must take place in a good mood, with a mindset to win, otherwise nothing will work out for you. And here we move on to another question: why do we need this attitude to win at all? Do you have a specific goal for which you want to win? In absolute any business there must be some kind of final goal, some kind of result that you want to achieve. Then the process of achieving this result becomes interesting and the whole path to it becomes meaningful. Well, when something becomes meaningful for us, we are ready to spend our time on it. I'll give you an example with the Valorant. You know that if you play a lot, you can open the entire battle pass. You know how many games you need to play and you will 100% get your delayed reward. You're completely sure that at level 50 you'll get a knife. This is not the case when playing matchmaking. You can be sure that if you try your best, you'll 100% get a win, because this is not the case in fact. But even the opposite happens. People on the contrary playing tilted begin to think that there is no point to trying at all, because one way or another the game is lost at the start for some reason that they always can find. Now imagine such a situation. The god of Valorant comes down to you and says, "My friend, if you train for 2 hours every day for a month, play from 6 to 8 ranked games with full focus and analyze your demos, in a month you'll get a Radiant. You get it 100% straight." In this case, you would begin to give yourself to the game as much as you can, because this delayed reward would be waiting for you. But in the real life there is no such a thing, of course. And in the real life, the one who forces himself to believe in it on his own and remains as mentally stable as possible wins. Now let's move on to the mechanics of the game. Here I want to include how you feel about the game as a whole. It is clear that if you play Valorant once a week on the weekend, then you don't need to worry, although you wouldn't be looking for a video in this case, but that's not the point. Everything is important if you want to be consistent. Maybe you have a bad PC and you played one game well just because, for example, there were skirmishes in those places where your FPS didn't sag much, and in the next game you're playing against Viper, Astra, and they have their walls, ultimate, stuns, smokes and everything else, so your PC just flies away. For example, I first calibrated in Valorant for bronze. I had a PC that gave me about 60 FPS and sometimes even 40, plus I had ping around 130. Later I updated my PC and in the next act I reached diamond, and through the next act even the Immortal. Your physical condition is also important. If you are tired, you will be just too lazy to move the mouse. You'll not want to win, so it will be much easier to fall into tilt. Therefore, professional players are very serious with the sleeping schedule before the tournaments. They get up at a certain time and begin to train, while the sleep should be full and not 4 or 5 hours. Your food also affects your stability. If you have played a lot of games in which you destroyed everyone and then you wanted to eat, then it is time to finish the game, at least for the next hour, or better for 2 hours. Our stomach is almost a second brain. During the digestion of food it takes energy and strength from us. Have you ever noticed that when you eat well, the game becomes somehow different, the reaction drops? This is all just because of the food, especially if you eat something fatty. Many players still for some reason do not take into account one simple fact. So you look at the career of pro player and see that they have solid match MVPs, or at least team MVPs. Why can't they do it so consistently, apart from the fact that they are playing from 8 to 10 hours a day? The answer is simple. They are already playing at the highest level. They do not move to a new level of opponents. But you, playing on a diamond and moving up on a ranked ladder, may not be ready for the fact that opponents are already becoming a little smarter and able to adapt to your actions. What worked for you in the last game and allowed you to get 25 kills may not work at all in the next game. Also add the fact that ranked system works very poorly, at least now, so that's why we rarely have balanced matchups. And finally, it is important to take into account the fact that in one way or another each game in Valorant is different. Not only, as I said, teammates and rivals different, but also the map and the set of agents. On some map you play better, on some worse, some agents suit you perfectly and you feel super confident, and some is just not yours at all, but you have to take them to have a good comp. Valorant is very variative game, and to be consistent, you just need to choose your main agents and learn as many tips as possible for each of the map. Then you will be able to do everything everywhere, and you will always be useful, at least with your abilities, if you can't hit shots in the specific game. So I hope you heard at least one of your problems here and you can focus on it, eliminate it and start playing better. Well, that's all for me. Many thanks to everyone who watched to the end. See you soon. Bye bye.